All right, thank you all so much for joining us today. We have some of you that have attended a previous demo day and some of you that are new. But in today's session, we're going to be focused on the new asset library that we are very excited to have just released. Before we start talking about the asset library, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the product and why we built it and why it's important. Some of this is a repeat from the last session, but I'm sure it's still going to be helpful to have a review of that. And then at the end of the session, I'll go through any questions that you have, so please feel free to type them in the chat box. Just need to set the session to record. Oh, we are ready. Okay. So our agenda is starting with why we built ZOOMstudio. Then we'll look at what it is, who uses it, and then we're going to create some content. At that point, we'll talk about the asset library and show you how that works. So I want to start with why we built ZOOMstudio. Zoom Catalog has been around since 2009, and we initially started the company to address the print catalog problem in our industry. Back then, suppliers would print and ship thousands of catalogs, if not hundreds and thousands of catalogs, and ship them to distributors. Distributors would get these catalogs and have to file them in filing cabinets, and that's what they used to find products and ideas. Of course, this was extremely inefficient. It was hard to find product and then hard to share those products with customers. So we wanted to build one place online where distributors can go to find all the content available from the industry suppliers. Since then, we've evolved and we have added additional tools and products, and we've learned a lot about our customers, both on the supplier and distributor side. One thing that became very apparent over the last couple of years is that suppliers struggle to create the content they need. There are a lot of different pain points along the steps of creation to publishing to keeping catalogs, flyers, and presentations up to date. And we wanted to build a tool to improve that workflow. We also noticed that our industry is a little behind in terms of digital transformation. We are absolutely in the throes of it. It's imperative that suppliers look at their manual processes and find how they can use technology to improve things and create more efficient workflows for their team as well as for distributors. We also saw the transformation with catalogs. As you all know, print catalogs used to be the main marketing format, and now we are looking at doing more digital. Suppliers are taking the full line catalogs, breaking them up into small digital pieces so that their catalogs can be easily shared by distributors in different ways. We also saw how the volatile supply chains were impacting suppliers. You all are probably familiar with getting your catalog done, spending months on perfecting it, getting it up and live, hopefully not, but printed as well. And then a week later, realizing that your prices have changed and you have to go back to your design files, get everything up to date and re-uploaded. Now at Zoom Catalog, we have made it easy to update your digital catalogs, but it still requires some man hours and some effort to make sure you're doing that on a regular basis. But we wanted to build a tool that pulled out that pain point and gave you a solution where things can stay up to date and accurate. And I'll get to this, but the heart of ZOOMstudio is your product data. With the digital transformation, we've seen things like promo standards and different ways in which suppliers can work to keep their information up to date so that they're not sending individual spreadsheets to millions of different sources each time they have a change. We are looking at tools in which the data can be controlled in one place and updated in many different areas. So we use that data to power ZOOMstudio so that things are accurate, up to date, and people using can create and share with confidence. Also, there are changing expectations within and outside of our industry. Buyers now want to buy things quickly. They want to be able to track them and get their orders fulfilled. They don't want to have a lot of touch points in that process. And they also want to have the tools accessible to them to enable that sale. What that means from the supplier side is that suppliers need to provide digital tools for distributors to be able to create the content they need to sell and market products. We've worked with suppliers who in the past have attempted to build their own tools for their websites, but that becomes challenging because with technology, you are constantly needing to iterate, support, and help your customers. But with us being fully focused on ZOOMstudio and our other products, it's what we do every single day. Our entire team is dedicated to it. We are always evolving and improving our tools. And so you are able to use our tools rather than trying to build tools in-house. This allows you to meet those expectations of distributors who want to easily sell your products and market them to their customers. And then, of course, the growing custom needs. When we launched Zoom Catalog, we had traction right away because distributors wanted an easy way to share products. But over time, we recognized that not only did they want to share those catalogs, they wanted to share them as their own. They want to include their branding, their contact information with those catalogs so that when they were shared, the order came back to them. This has evolved even more over the last few years, and we have constantly heard the same request where distributors want to choose the products. They want to mark up pricing. They want to omit certain colors. And with ZOOMstudio, you're giving distributors as well as your team the control to meet these custom needs of different distributors. All their clients are different, their projects are different, and there's going to be a lot of times in which they need something specific to them to be able to close that sale. So with ZOOMstudio, you can meet these growing custom needs because it's easier than ever to create the catalogs, presentations, lookbooks, and more that you get requests for. Oops, sorry. So what is ZOOMstudio? ZOOMstudio is the industry's smartest and easiest design tool, enabling you to create content at scale. At scale is the keyword here. We know that most suppliers have a process for creating some content, whether it's a presentation a sales rep needs or a catalog for a new product line, but you are limited to your resources, whether it's something in-house or something you're outsourcing. Creating content is extremely time consuming and requires special knowledge and skill sets to be able to build pieces that are professional and on brand. However, with ZOOMstudio, we break down these walls and we give you a tool that anybody can use to create what they need and ensure that that output looks great, is helpful, and is accurate. So who uses ZOOMstudio? First of all, your marketing team. We know marketing teams are burdened with creating content all the time. They are planning catalogs and flyers. They're trying to create pieces that will work for many people. But with ZOOMstudio, they can now create more specific targeted pieces quickly, as well as those general pieces like catalogs. Being able to create catalogs in ZOOMstudio means what used to take months or weeks can now take a couple of minutes or maybe half an hour, depending on the size. Also, your sales team. We have spoken to many suppliers, possibly all the suppliers in our industry, and most of them have the same problem. They have requests all the time for presentations. The distributor needs all the blue products that are in this price point on a flyer with their branding or a presentation, and they need to send it off. And the sales rep doesn't have a dedicated tool to get this done. So they may be copying and pasting website links into an email. They may be waiting on your design team to put something together, or they may be kind of ambitious and jumping into Canva or Google Slides. But the problem with this is that you don't have a dedicated tool. And so management and the company as a whole, you don't really know what's being sent, how those pieces are performing, a record of what customers were presented what. With ZOOMstudio, everybody can use the same tool. There's a dashboard so you can see what everybody is doing and how those pieces are performing. Also, your design team. Again, we're not building this tool to replace your design team. We're building this tool to empower your design team. They can now create pieces much faster and also provide them in new formats, like as editable templates, so others can customize as their own. And then lastly, of course, distributors. We've ensured that building ZOOMstudio, we wanted to make it really, really intuitive and simple so that the most untech savvy person could come in here and make something awesome. So with our tools, you're able to plug them into your website so that distributors can self-serve when they need something. The other great thing about this is we have some APIs available that allow users to create presentations and catalogs with one single click. We covered that in a previous demo day, so if you're interested in learning more about our website integration options, reach out and we can send you that recording, or we're happy to meet one-on-one to give you a walkthrough as well. So the benefits of ZOOMstudio. We touched on this, but you're going to be able to create and capture more demand. As we already summarized, you're likely getting a lot of requests for custom pieces, for presentations. You're able to now meet the demand that is coming in for different content pieces. But you're also able to create new demand. By using ZOOMstudio, you can be a lot more proactive and build pieces for sales leads or for trade show follow-ups. So you're not only going to be able to meet your current demand, but you're going to create new demand. You're also going to be able to collaborate more and make better decisions. As I said, there isn't a dedicated tool that most suppliers are using to put together their presentations or their marketing pieces, which means that your data and your information is limited and spread out. But with ZOOMstudio, you have one dashboard where you can see how everything is doing and what your team is creating. You can use that information to then make better decisions around what type of content to focus on next. Also, with our team dashboard, your team can collaborate better. Depending on the permissions and roles, they can see what each other is creating, share designs amongst each other, and also just get individual tracking on what they are creating. When they send that presentation to a distributor, they will now know when the end user has viewed it and how often they viewed it, what products they clicked on. This again is going to lead to better decisions and ultimately help close those sales. You're going to be able to design more without spending more. That's what's self-explanatory, but as we touched on, even if it's a tool just your design team was using, they're going to be way more efficient. They're not going to have to worry about updating pieces and pricing and product availability in the pieces that are published. And you are now able to design more and focus on other design needs outside of your catalogs and flyers. And you can create content in minutes, not hours. We're going to jump into the tool in a moment here, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to put together a presentation. And when I show you that, you just need to imagine what you would do if you didn't have ZOOMstudio. You're likely copying and pasting, downloading images, trying to insert pricing into tables. It's a very time-consuming process that we have simplified with ZOOMstudio. So I'm going to give you a quick tour. Now, I know this session is focused on the asset library. So after the tour, we're going to talk about the asset library and what's new with that and how to use it. But first, let's take a look. So when we set a new supplier up with ZOOMstudio, you'll get your own instance and we'll connect your product data. I won't get too into detail of it, but we can use your promo standards, spreadsheets, we have APIs. We have a lot of different options for getting your data connected to your own ZOOMstudio. We then set you up with an instance where your team and your distributors can come to get started. Once logged in, they can choose from a library of templates, which next demo day is going to be focused on the template library, so definitely join us about that. They can access previous designs they've created, and then they have two options to make it quick or start from scratch. I'm going to use Make It Quick to create a quick presentation. So just to set up the use case, imagine I'm a sales rep. I'm on the phone with the distributor and they are looking to sell sunglasses and they need certain sunglasses in a certain price point put into a quick presentation that they can send over to their customer. That sales rep, again, is likely going to the design team or copying and pasting hyperlinks, but instead, while on the phone, they can jump into ZOOMstudio and pop the products in, get it over to the distributor before they've even hung up the phone. So this is a basic use case. We'll look at other use cases like creating lookbooks and catalogs a little later, but this is a fast walkthrough of it. So you'll start by giving your design a name. If applicable, we'll have a currency option, and then the user can choose their design type. This is a new feature. It's super exciting. You can choose the portrait orientation, which is great for presentations and lookbooks. We just introduced our presentation or landscape mode, which is full screen. It's more like a slideshow. So some really cool things can be created with the landscape mode, but we're not going to look at that right now. And then by default, the user's logo is going to be used throughout the design. I'm logged in as a PCNA team member, so I have the PCNA logo here. But if I'm a distributor, automatically my logo is going to be the default logo for my design. And if I'm a sales rep, I can click to choose a different logo. I can have access to all the distributor logos available from my company and choose the one for the user I'm creating for. Hit Create Design, and we'll get started. So the first thing you'll notice is that the tool is very simple, and this is by design. As I've mentioned, we really want to make this intuitive and simple for anyone to use. We want to make it so that they can't really mess up. They can't make something that doesn't look great and that it remains on brand. So on the left-hand side, we have our pages. I can add and adjust pages here. In the middle, I have my page, and then on top of the page, I have the smart layout. So the smart layout is going to determine what content is going on the page. In this case, it's very basic. It's just 4 products and a logo. However, I can go manage my page and change my layout by choosing a layout in the layout library. You can see I have a cover page. I have pages that are half images, half products, a featured product, etc. And we're actually constantly adding new layouts. So we're going to build out an entire library of layouts depending on the types of pieces that the user needs to make. Now I'm going to stick with the 4 product just for this use case because I'm a sales rep. I'm on the phone. I'm just trying to share some product ideas quickly. All I need to do is click on each block and add what I need. Since these are product blocks, when I click on them, it's going to launch the product search modal. Here I can type in the product I'm looking for. And this, of course, would be your product. So we can search by keyword, product name, or product ID. We can then see all that's available and choose the appropriate color option needed. That will switch the product details, including pricing if it's different by color, and I can pop that into the page. And then I can simply go ahead and pick any others that I need. So you can see how fast this is to lay out this piece, bring in the product details, and create with confidence because I know that this is accurate and up-to-date product information. Now, if I needed to make any changes, I can easily go to a specific product and edit it. I can hide certain product details like the pricing or the colors. I can edit to mark up pricing or replace the product image. And then you'll notice we have a list here called the sidebar. Now, we wanted to solve one issue that many people have when they're designing their catalogs and presentations, and that is getting all the appropriate product information included. As you know, with these items, they likely come in other colors. There's a description. I have price breaks by quantity, but cramming that all into the page can end up really messy and overwhelming for the person viewing it. However, that information is super important. So what we've done is we have included a sidebar, which means when this is published, whoever is viewing on it can click on a product to view more details about the item. Once I publish, you'll see what I mean, but that means I can choose to include any other product information that otherwise isn't on the page with this presentation. And I can keep going and adding pages, adding products. I can use different layouts for the different pages. I could add a cover page or a title page. I can add some lifestyle shots, which we'll get to when we talk about the asset library. And I can customize this as much as I need. But once I'm done, I'll hit Publish Design, and that's it. Now that it's published, I get a link that I can share with my customer. This link is live, it's available, it's responsive, it looks great on all mobile devices. I can pop it into an email and have it in my customer's inbox before we hang up the phone. So they can now see it and share it on with their customers. And as mentioned, these products are clickable, so I can view any additional information such as other product images, swatches, pricing, and more. So you can see these pieces are now interactive. And this feature is really cool when you're designing lookbooks because you can make it really shoppable with all the details of the item. So you get your shareable link and you send it over, and then not only that, you can jump into the dashboard and track it. So you know when the distributor has viewed it, when they've shared it, and when the end user has viewed it as well. If you need to make changes, you can always log right back in and adjust, replace products, add and delete. So if the distributor does say, you know, hey, I like the rainbow glasses, but they're out of my price point, can you replace them? You can update this piece, publish changes, and that link they have is going to automatically update the piece that they are looking at. So this is a really simple walkthrough, just because there's other things you can create. It's still as fast and easy, and we'll get to that in a moment. But if you want a deeper dive into the types of content you can create, definitely attend some of our future demo days or reach out to us for a one-on-one. All right, so now I'd like to talk about the new asset library. The asset library is a tool to enable you to centralize and manage all your assets in one place. What we mean by assets are your lifestyle shots, your brand logos, your distributor logos, other brand elements, backgrounds, anything that you have that you usually would use inside your designs, or pieces that, assets that will help distributors enhance the designs that they're creating. We know that most suppliers do invest in beautiful photography and lifestyle shots that are used within catalogs, and you can upload those into your ZOOMstudio so that any of your users can come in and use them within what they're creating. You can quickly and easily update and share new assets, so you can upload new ones as you create them, remove any that are expired. Managing them is extremely simple, and we'll look at that in a moment as well. You can make assets available to your team members and distributors, and you can use permissions to show certain assets to certain users. What this means is if you wanted to create a library of all your distributor logos, for example, you can make them available only to your team members so that distributors don't have access to those. Or if you had a library of lifestyle shots you wanted available to everybody, you would change the permissions to make sure they're publicly available. So the permissions is a really powerful tool for making things easier, especially for your team. Those brand assets and logos that you don't want your distributors to have access to, your team can still access. And this is centralizing your assets all into one place so that when somebody is coming into the tool to create, they have everything they need at their fingertips. The product images, the product details, the pricing, all of your assets outside of product, so your lifestyle shots and photography. And it's really quick and simple to create something that looks amazing. So we're going to go back to the tool and take a look. Now, I'm going to actually start a new design, and this time I'm going to make a really quick lookbook just to show you some additional functionality here. And then we'll look at how the asset library allows me to bring this piece to life. So I'm going to name my design, choose my currency, choose my page type, and hit create. Now, because this is a lookbook, I need the first page to be a cover page. So I'm going to go manage page, and I'm going to change it to a cover page. Now, the smart layout here includes an image, a title, and a logo. And all I need to do is click on each block and add what I need. I'll give it a title. When I click on the image block, this is going to launch the asset library. These are assets that I have uploaded that are available to me from the supplier, and we have options from Unsplash. So every user can upload any images that they need into their account. The nice thing about this is they are saved for them so that when they come back in the future, they'll have access to those again. For example, a distributor might have their own images or branding that they need. They can upload them into their library, and whenever they come back, they'll have them at their fingertips right there. One of your team members can have theirs as well. With the shared library, this is where I get access to all the lifestyle shots and everything the supplier has uploaded. I'm going to come back to this. Or I can use images from Unsplash, which is a library of stock art. There's thousands of royalty-free images here that I can use in my design. All I need to do is search by keyword and find the perfect image for the piece I'm creating. So we can pop that in. Now, once I get to the asset library, I'm going to replace this with a shared asset from the supplier. So we'll come back to that, but I want to just build out a small little lookbook. So I'm going to go ahead and add a page, and I'm going to add a spread instead of a single page. Single page is great if you're making flyers or presentations. You'll use spreads for your lookbooks and catalogs. Here I get 2 pages side by side with a layout on each side. So I go manage page, and on the left, I'm going to change this layout. I can rearrange these blocks if I want, and maybe turn off the logo. And then on the right, I'm going to do one featured product, and again, turn off the logo. So now all I need to do is click on each block and add the asset. We'll go back to Unsplash. We'll find another image here. Let's search different word. And I'm going to quickly reposition this a little bit. And then I'm going to add the product. So we'll stick with the sunglasses just because they're recently used. And if I need to, I can go edit the product details. That's it, super simple. And I can keep going and add as many spreads as I want. We'll add one more just to complete this demo. In this one, I think I'm going to use another cover page and turn off the logo to create a nice title page here. And then on the right, we'll use 3 products stacked. And we'll give it a title. Go to Unsplash. Oops. and then we'll add our products. So you can see how quick it is to create pieces here. If you can imagine doing this in InDesign or Illustrator, it's going to take a lot more time. You're going to be doing a lot of copying and pasting and trying to make sure product images are the right resolution. Here, you just click and go. So now I have a mini catalog. I can publish, and I get my link. It's ready to go. Now, another feature I won't talk about on this demo is that I can actually publish this as an editable design, which means I can put it on my website or share it with distributors so they can make it their own. They can switch out products, change the images, mark up pricing. And this is a really cool feature because if you are creating your catalogs in ZOOMstudio, distributors have the control for that personalization I previously spoke about. So they can browse this just like a Zoom catalog, view the product details, and so forth. Okay, so going back to the assets, as you can see, my catalog really looks great because it has these nice images in it. Unsplash is an awesome resource with tons of images, but we know suppliers have even better images that feature the products that the supplier or the distributor is selling. So in this case, you want to be able to upload those assets so that users can use them wherever they need. In order to do this, you're going to access the dashboard that we have built for you and your team. So I'm going to jump over to the dashboard, somewhere here. There we go. So I'll go to the dashboard. Now, just a quick note on the dashboard, it is another really powerful tool. Here, you're going to be able to see what you're creating, what your team's creating, how they're performing, what products are included, when they were viewed. You can see these pieces are being created right now. And then you can also go ahead and invite your team members into the dashboard. That means they can come in here and manage their own pieces. But it also means that when you use the permissions for the asset library, they can have access to pieces that are only available to your team. So you'll want to invite your team in so you can use those permissions appropriately. Now we're going to go to the library and we can see that I have a bunch of assets. These are images I've uploaded to my account. Almost all of them are set to only you, which means only I have access to these. But I want to upload images and make them available to everyone. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and click upload, and I'll browse to the assets I prepared to put into ZOOMstudio. So I'm going to upload these 3 images here. You can mass upload, so you can choose a whole folder of images and do it all at one time. And it uploads really quickly, so it's just going to take a couple of seconds. Sorry, guys, 1 second. I'm actually going to switch out of PCNA and show you this somewhere else. Sorry for the mix-up here. I'm going to go to one of our test accounts. I think it'll go smoother. I think somebody else is probably managing their assets right now. Okay, so in our test account, I go to the library. I can see any assets that I've previously uploaded, and I can go ahead and upload new. So we'll choose the one we want to upload or the multiple we need to upload. And as soon as those are in here, I can manage them. So you can see by default, the images I upload are set to the permission only me, which again means only I can use it and see it when I log into Studio. But I can quickly and easily change the permission by checking off the item and going to set it here. I can even select multiple at one time if I need to do a batch update. I'll go to set permission, and I can choose between sharing with the public, which means anybody who I've given permission into the tool, distributors, and my team. I can set it to my team, who are those that I've invited into the dashboard, or only you. So we'll switch these over to public. And now you can see the permission has changed. We also have type. This is a brand new tool, so we're still adding additional types, but this is going to enable filtering and organization of your assets, which is going to make it much easier for you and your users to find the assets they need. But you can sort them right now by logo or cover image or other. This is something we'll be elaborating on. You can also individually edit the item. So you can see with this one I just uploaded, it has a weird name. This is just what the file name was, but I can click to edit and give it an entirely new name here. So this is what users will see it called within the asset library. I can change the permissions, the type. We also have categories that we're building out right now, and then we'll save those changes. Now, another thing we can do is mass delete. So again, if you have a bunch of assets that expired, you don't have to click and go delete each and every one. You'll just select the ones you want to delete and do it from the bottom menu. But now I've uploaded my asset, and anybody coming to create will have access to that image. So I'm going to go here. I'm in this other studio, so this is just a test one. I'm going to create new design. Give my design a name. And then I'm going to switch the page layout to one with an image. Now, when I go add image, like I showed you before, I have my uploads. I have access to Unsplash, but I also have access to this shared library. And you can see those assets that we were looking at in the asset library are here now. So I can pop in the one I want, and it will populate within the design. So with your lifestyle shots, the distributors, your team members can match them up to the products to create really awesome designs. Also, as we release more layouts down the road, you'll be able to have more places to use these images and enhance catalogs and flyers, presentations, etc. that way. So just to reiterate, the tool is built in a really simple way. You simply visit your dashboard, you'll go to library, you'll upload your assets, you can select one or multiple, click open, and then adjust the permissions as needed. Then once somebody's in the tool, they'll have access to those assets right here. So the asset library is something really helpful for your team and distributors. And if you are already a ZOOMstudio member and you have ZOOMstudio for your company, definitely jump right in your dashboard and get started. If you need any help or instructions, reach out to us. For those of you that are interested in ZOOMstudio and don't have it yet, also reach out to us. We're happy to do a quote. But we are 2 minutes over. I apologize for running a little late, but I'll take any questions that you have now. Just feel free to type them in the chat box. All right, first question is pricing. So the pricing is going to be dependent on the number of SKUs that you have. So if you want to send us your SKU count over, we can give you a quote. There's going to be a one-time integration fee, which allows us to set up your studio and connect your data. And then once you go live, there's an annual service fee. With this pricing, there's no limitation on the number of users, the amount of content you create, the number of assets you can upload, so you can do everything that you need. Somebody's asking about promo standards. So we fully integrate with promo standards. It's actually one of the easiest ways to get up and running. So we would just need credentials for your endpoints. We also don't use all the endpoints. So if you are partially done with promo standards, you likely have what we need ready to go. We just need product data, media, and price and config to get you up and running. So we're happy to explore that a little bit with you. We make integration really simple for you, no matter what method you choose to get us your data. Basically, we take the work. So you fill out a short form, our team goes away, gets you set up. We put you on a test site where you can go play around with the tool and approve everything looks good. And once you're happy with it, we can go live. We also have a lot of suppliers who really love that process because they get to see their data in a tool, which helps them audit their data a little bit and find any errors they may have. So it's actually a really useful step just in general as we get you up and running on Studio. Can distributors use the tool? Absolutely. So the suppliers that have ZOOMstudio right now have put it on their website, and you can go in and you can create content from those suppliers. If you want to reach out to us, we'll send you a list of all the supplier studios that are available online. We know ultimately that distributors would love to mix and match products from suppliers, and that is something we'll be doing down the road, probably end of this year. So right now, when you use the tool, you'll use it from each supplier. So you could go to, for example, Alpha Broder's website and create lookbooks and catalogs with products from Primeline and Alpha Broder, or go to PCNA and use their products, Ariel, HIT, Sanmar, SNS. Tons of suppliers have it. So shoot us an email and we'll send you the list so you can start creating the content and lookbooks you need. Somebody's asking about adding logos to products. I'm surprised I forgot this piece, but it's really exciting because if you've used our original ZOOMstudio that I haven't touched on, you know that you can add logos to the products, and you have been able to for a while. With this new version, we've been building it. We're currently getting it finalized now. So in probably Q2 or end of Q2, we're going to be rolling that out so that you could upload a logo and it's going to automatically apply to all the products. This is going to be great for those editable templates, and we're making it really simple for distributors in your team so they can upload a logo and see it on all items within the piece that's created. So we do have it in ZOOMstudio in the other editor, which we haven't really looked at on this call. But if you're interested in seeing it, reach out. And the new plugin for smart layouts that I just showed you is coming soon. All right, well, I feel like I've answered all the questions. There's one here that is more of a one-on-one question, so we'll reach out to you. But we appreciate you all attending today, and hopefully you found this useful. You can definitely jump into our a one-on-one with us if you want a deeper look, and we'd be happy to talk about your data. We are doing integrations right now, so if you want to get up and running before the end of the year, we can do that. Generally takes about 2 weeks to get you fully set up, so it's a really quick process. So we'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.